My husband and I got married in early November of this year. We were trying to stay on a pretty strict budget, as I feel like we relate with most of America and don't have a ton of money to spend on a wedding. We kept everything as minimal as possible. One luxury I really wanted was a day of coordinator because I didn't want my mom or I to stress unnecessarily on the wedding day about the schedule and where people needed to be. I also didn't want to make a bridesmaid do it, which in hindsight I should have just done that. Now to the crux of the issue. My friend recommended a co-worker of hers who was getting into the event business and had done a few weddings. She would be half the price of other coordinators in our area, obviously with the caveat that she doesn't have the most experience. I met with her and she seemed organized and friendly. I was explicit with my desire to not have a stressful day of worrying about the schedule. I told her my primary goal was to have a day of coordinator to keep everyone going where they needed to go and keep the day on schedule. She mentioned some extras she could help with, like decorating, because she had done a wedding with similar colors to ours. Since she had the supplies, she said she'd let us use it for the day. She also offered her warmers for the food we were having catered. It was a Carlos O'Kelly's buffet. Over the next several months, she would message about other decor she found. I told her I could purchase it, but she said she was fine to do it because she wanted to build her stock of items for her growing business. At the first meeting, we agreed on a price of $800. My fiancé, myself, and my mother all wrote this down. My biggest mistake was not having a signed document or any written communication to verify that later on. I wrote our itineraries for the wedding parties, officiant, and DJ and gave her access to all three of these. We had 2 wedding party members drop out in the last month, so I had to rearrange some things, and also, when looking back, wanted to add more detail to make sure everything was crystal clear on the day. At the rehearsal, she had the wrong schedules printed. I reminded her that I had new ones and asked them to be reprinted for the day. On the day, she handed everyone the wrong schedule, so I sent her the right one to make sure at least she knew the right schedule to work from. She also offered to pick up the cake and cupcakes from the baker, even though I told her we could do that if she wasn't able or if it was too much. She assured us it was no problem and she would take care of it. Also important to note that 2 weeks before the ceremony she texted to tell me she wanted $1,000 instead of $800 and that she had never agreed to $800. I told her that's what we had all written down on our side and what we had budgeted. I let her know that we wouldn't have the extra by wedding day with all the last-minute expenses coming out. She said that this was fine and that we could pay half before the wedding and the other half a month later. I let her know that I still wasn't comfortable with the last-minute price increase, but that if I was satisfied with service, we'd pay her the extra. On the day, she was hardly seen. My husband was having to calm her down as he set up and made sure people knew where to go. She decorated the facility, which was beautiful. However, I told her to rely on the bridesmaids for help with that, and she refused that help. She didn't help keep the schedule on track. My cousin, who was DJing, had to play coordinator instead. We then had someone tell us they went to the bar to get a drink, and they were told it was an open bar. We had a contract with the bar for a cash bar, with drink tickets for our wedding guests to get 1 drink on our tab. As we're talking, she comes up and says someone told the bar it was an open bar, but she's not sure who and we need to go talk to them. A bridesmaid and my mom go to the bar and the bartenders tell them that the coordinator told them it was an open bar. This was after she watched me pass out the drink tickets and had been told prior it was a cash bar. We get it settled with the bar, but since they have to charge someone for drinks poured, we needed up paying an extra $200 for guest drinks on our tab. There were several other things that happened to make either my mom or myself stressed on the day, questions that she should have been able to answer because I gave her the info that she kept sending people to us to answer. Overall, the day was incredibly stressful. I wanted to reach out to let her know that I wasn't satisfied afterwards, but we wanted to take the week to enjoy our honeymoon, so I didn't. After the honeymoon, we had some very explosive family things happen that I don't need to get into here, but they did take up all of my mental space. I'm also 6 months pregnant. She messaged me in early December to remind me payment was due by the 22nd. I used this as a segue to tell her that we would be paying the original $800 and why that was all listed above. She gaslit me through several messages saying that the venue should have been coordinating people and that the DJ is in charge of coordinating the event. I told her that that was not told to us in any of our meetings with her, and that if that was the case, why would I have hired her to coordinate? She also said that the bar should be the ones not paid because they shouldn't have listened to her. I explained that as an event bartender myself, the coordinator is seen as the extension of the bride. They'll only change the plan if the coordinator or bride says so. Also, it's illegal not to pay for alcohol. I told her I stood firm on paying the original $800 because I was not satisfied with service, and the main goal of me being able to enjoy my day was not met. I left it at that. Pay due date came, and she was paid the remaining to equal $800. She texted that I shorted her, to which I didn't respond. Today, on Christmas Eve, I wake up to a long text essentially saying that she could take me civil claims court but is choosing to take the high road and leaving me some advice. She then tells me I was a nightmare to work with. It's my fault I chose an unlicensed person who never wanted to do weddings, and that I'm a narcissist spoon-fed little girl. I'm 28. I've talked to my bridesmaids and others because I just feel so gaslit that I was a nightmare, but I also did all of the work. She told me she wanted to make a business out of event coordinating, not decorating, including weddings. I gave her all the things to fulfill her job. I have written documents and schedules. I don't know how much more I could have been communicative. The delay in responses were on decor. She asked about purchasing early in the process. It did take me some time to respond, but in my mind, she wouldn't buy it until I approved it. It was all from Amazon Prime with 2-day shipping, and she was asking in June for a November event. I knew I was taking a chance on someone inexperienced, but I thought I was helping someone grow their business, and she was also someone I could afford. And now I'm being told she was basically pushed to do this and she should have backed out because I was shady the whole time? I guess I just want to know, with all the details I've given, am I the asshole for not paying her the full amount?